Are we being delusional in our current relationships and friendships? Are we expecting more people than we have the capacity to give ourselves? That's a topic worthy of discussing. So, I was just sitting here giving a few things, some thoughts this early Sunday morning, and wanted to pop on and talk to my seasoned gang about it. If you're over 50, kind of set in your ways, and struggling to maintain relationships with significant others, friends, aging parents, adult children, co-workers, we may need to take a long look in the mirror and ask ourselves, is it me? Now, I know a way, and I think this is the only way to fix a situation like this. And that is to become more flexible, become more realistic of what our expectations are for people based on what we have the ability to provide to people. Now, I think that sometimes we want something really, really bad and we'll do anything in our power to hold on to it. But sometimes when we're holding on to things and stuck in our ways, those things slowly but surely slip away from us. And then we tell ourselves, it's okay, they weren't significant in my life, or I didn't need them in my life. I'm not real sure how this no contact thing happens, that's happening in society today. But I know that the people that I love and care about and enjoy spending time with, I don't ever want to go no contact with them. So I want to provide a little bit of insight and feedback on what we need to do to maintain those relationships that we love and care about. And the very first thing that we have to do is be intentional. You have to be intentional about those relationships. You can't sit back and wait for people to call you. Sometimes you need to reach out, even if it's just a simple little text message to say, hey, I was thinking of you. I hope everything is going okay. We have to work on our relationships with everyone in our lives. No one just hangs around waiting on you to need them or you to want to spend time with them. We have to be intentional in those relationships, and we have to sometimes reach out and be reciprocal when people are reaching out to us. Number two is that we have to give grace, and we want grace in return. Life can sometimes life you into a frenzy, and you won't always have time to call and check in and do all the things that you want to do. And the same happens to others. So you have to give grace. If you hadn't heard from someone in a while, be grateful when you finally do hear from them. And don't expect people to show up perfectly when they do show up. You have no idea what's going on in their lives. So you need to be more compassionate and open and give people grace, because if you hadn't talked to someone in a while, or if you don't know what someone is going through, grace is something you can give them. And know that not everything is about you. Sometimes there are things that are going on in the background that you know absolutely nothing about. Number three, you have to be able to communicate your needs. And I think this is most significant in relationships with our significant others. Not only do you have to be open to communicating what you need, but you only need to be involved with people that are open to receiving what you have to say. One-sided relationships never work. And being in relationships or having good relationships isn't always about cutting people off. Sometimes it's about doing what you need to do to nurture those relationships and make sure that things are reciprocal on both sides and that both parties are receiving what they need. Now, you have to always be open to new connections. I think I've told this story on a video before, but I have had the same exact friends since I was probably in the 4th grade. I have acquired new friendships in my adult life, so few. I have acquired so few new relationships in my adult life. But those relationships that I have fostered and that have come along, they have become wonderful relationships. And I wouldn't trade those friendships for anything in the world. Now, as a single person, we come across lots of relationships with our significant others and things like that. And I have found that the older I get and the more set in my ways I am, the more difficult it is to give to those types of relationships, especially if the other person wants things one way and you want things another way. Sometimes compromise is the only way to make those relationships work. But you also have to be open to new connections and new relationships, whether it's coworkers or, friends your own age or people that enjoy doing some of the same things that you enjoy doing. Be open to those new connections so that you don't wear the old ones out. And lastly, we got to accept evolution. We've got to accept that the person that you met 20 years ago is not the same person that they are today. They don't have the same things going on. They don't have the same issues going on. And the things that used to connect you and keep you together, when you were younger, may be different. And you may have to look for different things to have in common and different things that you want to do with that person. Be open to evolution. Nothing stays the same. Change is constant, and you have to give that to the people that you love. You don't want to find yourself forcing people to be something that they aren't. People change. You have changed. You are not the same person that you used to be. So be open to the evolution of everyone around you. I know that one of the most difficult relationships that I had to foster was that with my older children, my adult children. I found that although I thought I was the perfect parent and I did everything in the best possible way that I could, there were some things that I did along the way that, wasn't perfect, that wasn't ideal. And I had to be open to them sharing that information with me and then trying to fix that situation. Because like I said, I thought I was the perfect parent. I gave them anything and everything they could possibly want. But some things still, went lacking. There were some things that, that they saw differently than I saw. So I had to be open to hearing that information and doing what I needed to do to foster that relationship, because there is no relationship in my life that's more important to me than the one that I have with my children. Now, we have to be open to all of those things. We have to be intentional. We have to give grace and receive grace when it's being given to us. We have to communicate our needs. People are not going to read your mind. They have no way of knowing what's going on with you. So if you need a little space, you need to say that. If you need to be surrounded by the people that you love, you need to say that. And you need to be the type of person that the people you love want to be around. You need to make room for new connections. We evolve. We are all evolved beings. And nothing in our lives stays the same. So we have to be open to that. In our 50s, we get to decide who gets to take advantage of the opportunity to share our time and to have our trust. So don't let just anybody sit at your table, but make sure that the ones that are sitting at your table, the ones that do have your back, the ones that are doing all the things that you'd like for them to do or that make you happy or that you feel like you need in your life, make sure you love and nurture those relationships. Because relationships in general can be hard, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a coworker, whether it's your child, your parents, just like I had to hear some of the hard truths that my children had to share with me. I also had to accept that my parents did the best they could with what they had, and any feelings that I had about things in my childhood or in my younger days that didn't go exactly the way that I wanted them to go. I had to accept that my parents did the best they could with the information and the resources that they had. And it's time to move on from that, because after all, I've been an adult longer than I was ever a kid. So we can't be holding on and harboring those things. So it is Sunday morning, the first weekend in May, and I was just about to have my morning cup of joe. I wanted to do this video out on the front porch, but the birds are singing and, it's so quiet out here. I can hear the interstate and everything else. So I just decided to pop into my office and do this quick video for you. So if any of this resonated with you guys, I'm going to ask that you leave me a comment below. What are some ways that we can continue to foster and nurture the relationships that mean a bunch to us? Leave me a comment. Let me know. And in addition to that, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And until next week, it's the seasoned lady signing off. I hope each and every one of you have an absolutely fabulous upcoming week. Toodles.